Hello students, welcome back to this video on electromagnetics or EMFT, and today in this session we are going to talk about the coordinate system and mainly we'll be talking about the vector analysis. Okay, in the coordinate system we'll be focusing upon the Cartesian coordinate system. So first of all, what is coordinate system? It's a set of axes which is used to locate a particular point in the space. Okay, so there are two types of coordinate system: orthogonal coordinate system and non-orthogonal coordinate system. In orthogonal coordinate system, all of the axes are mutually perpendicular to each other, whereas in non-orthogonal coordinate system, axes are not perpendicular to each other, and due to this reason, non-orthogonal coordinate systems are hard to deal with and these are of no practical use. We mainly deal with the orthogonal coordinate system. And what are the examples of the orthogonal coordinate system? The Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system, spherical coordinate system, elliptical coordinate system, conical coordinate system. These are all the examples of the orthogonal coordinate system. So we will be discussing about the cylindrical, Cartesian and the spherical coordinate system in this session, and will not be discussing about more coordinate systems. So we'll be restricting our discussion to these three coordinate systems only. Okay, and in this lecture we will be focusing only on the Cartesian coordinate system. Now coming to the vector. What is a vector? A vector is any quantity which is having the magnitude as well as direction. Okay, so when we have magnitude of a quantity as well as we know the direction of this quantity, then it is classified as the vector quantity. And how do we denote a vector quantity? A vector quantity A can be denoted with the help of an arrow on it. So this is how we represent a vector quantity, or I can represent A with a line over it. Okay, so this is also a vector quantity's representation. Now what I can do, I can bold this A. So a bold A also represent the vector quantity. So these are only three representations of the vector quantity. I hope there is no confusion now. Whenever you see A with arrow on it, A with a line on it and a bold A, so this represent a vector A. Okay, so there are three kinds of vectors that I want to discuss. First is the collinear vector. What is a collinear vector? What is a collinear vector? If two vectors are parallel to each other. So these two vectors are the parallel vectors and these two vectors are collinear vector. Now what is coplanar vector? Okay, now if I have more than two vectors, so let's suppose if I have three vectors and these three vectors are parallel to a same plane, then these are called coplanar vector. Now what is a null vector? As the name suggests, null means zero. Its magnitude should be zero and it just have a direction. So I just know the direction of this vector. I know that its magnitude is zero. Then it is the null vector. I hope you got all three of them. So now what are the linearly dependent vectors? So if I represent any vector, so if I have v1 vector, v2 vector and v3 vector, so now if I can represent v1, v2 and v3 vectors like this equation, and here I have a, b, c as constants which are not equal to 0, then these vectors are called linearly dependent. Okay, v1, v2 and v3 are linearly dependent, and if a, b and c both are 0 in this case, then these are linearly independent vectors. So I hope you got all three of them and also what is linearly dependent and independent vector. Now moving to the Cartesian coordinate. So what is a Cartesian coordinate? We have three-dimensional vector. So three-dimensional vector is represented by three axes which are perpendicular to each other. So I have x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, which are mutually perpendicular to each other, because this is a type of orthogonal vector. So here, what is the range of x? X is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Y is also ranging from minus infinity to infinity. We can have any value of y from minus infinity to infinity. Similarly, z is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. So now if I have any point, okay, so this is my point. So if I join this point from this origin, so this is origin, and I am joining this point. So this is a vector represented by vector A, and it is having a direction. So how can we represent this A vector? We can represent this A vector with the help of some coefficients which are on y-axis, x-axis and z-axis. So now here it is cutting the y-axis at, let's suppose, AY, and it is cutting x-axis at AX and z-axis at AZ. Okay, so now how I can represent this vector quantity A? So A can be represented as AX. What is this AX? AX is the unit vector along x direction. So we have a unit vector along x direction, which is AX plus AY plus AZ. So this is how I can represent the vector A. So this is a vector notation. Now if I need to find out what is the magnitude of A, so magnitude of A is given by under root AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. This is the magnitude of A. Now if I need to find out a unit vector along A direction, we know what is the unit vector along Y direction, we know what is the unit vector along Z direction, we know what is the unit vector along X direction. Now if I need to find out the unit vector along A direction, so what is the unit vector along A direction? The unit vector is denoted by a cap on it, so A is represented by A cap. So here it is denoted as A vector upon the magnitude of A vector. Okay, so we know what is A vector, so it is AX plus AY plus AZ. So it is when divided by the magnitude of A, it will give me a unit vector along A direction. So now what is a position vector and what is the distance vector? So if I need to find out the distance of a vector A from the origin, then it is the position vector. So I am finding out from origin. Okay, then what is the distance vector? If I have any other vector B here, so it is the distance vector is the displacement between A and B, or the minimum distance between 2 points A and B, and these 2 points must not be origin. So this is the distance vector. So we are finding the distance from A to B. So I hope you got all of these things. So now we'll be moving further and we'll be discussing about the addition, subtraction of a vector. So what is the addition? If I have A vector represented like this and if I have another vector B vector, so A vector plus B vector is represented as, so we'll be having coefficient of AX, we'll be adding the coefficient of AX and BX. So unit vector along this direction is AX. Similarly, we'll be adding coefficients along Y direction and Z direction. So this is basically the vector addition. If I have to subtract two vectors, so A minus B, so here we will be just replacing addition with subtraction. So this is A minus B. Now if I have to represent it diagrammatically, so if I have this vector A, this is my vector A and this is my vector B. So I can have two types of representation. First, the tail of the second vector is originating from the head of the first vector, and in the another case I can have the scenario like this. So both tails are at the same point. So now here we'll be using the triangular law, and now we'll be resolving it into the components. So it is the component, if this is theta, and this is the B cos theta component, and this is the B sin theta component. Okay, so this thing should be clear. Now what is the resultant here? In this case I will be applying the triangular law. So according to the triangular law, if I put the third side of the triangle, so this A is represented by the first side of the triangle, B is represented by the second side of the triangular, so C is represented as the third side of the triangle, and C is the summation of vector A and vector B. So now we can use the Pythagoras theorem here. So base is A plus B cos theta and height is B sin theta. So C square will be A plus B cos theta whole square plus B square sin square theta. Okay, so now I will be just simplifying it. So here I will be using the identity of A plus B square. So here I will be having A square plus B square cos square theta. So here I use the identity A square plus B square cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta. Now I can take this B square cos square theta and this B square sin square theta together, and I can take the B square common from it. So cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. So here I am left out with A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Okay, so this is the addition of the two vectors. So this is C square. Now I can find out C from this equation. So I hope the triangular law of vector addition is clear. So this is the parallelogram law. In this case, what I will be doing? I will be shifting this vector. So if this is A, this is the A vector and this is the B vector, I will be shifting these two vectors. So B is translated here and A is translated here. Now what I have formed? I have formed a parallelogram, and the diagonal of this parallelogram will give me the resultant. So here the diagonal of this parallelogram gives me C. Okay, so this is the parallelogram law of vector addition. Now coming to the polygonal law of vector addition. So here if I have more than two vectors, so here in this case I have many vectors. So this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so all are vectors. Now I will be moving in any direction and I will be seeing which vectors are in the direction. So I am moving in this anti-clockwise direction. A vector is in the direction, so I will be writing A vector. So B vector is also in the same direction, so I will be adding B. C is also in the same direction, I will be adding C. D is also in the same direction, I will be adding D. Now E is in the opposite direction, I will be subtracting E. F is also in the opposite direction, I will be subtracting F, and G is also in the opposite direction, I will be subtracting G. So this gives me X cap. So X cap is the addition of all of these vectors. So I hope you understood what is vector addition and how we can perform the vector addition. Now coming to the vector subtraction. So we have all discussed about the graphical representation of the vector addition. Now from vector addition only we can do the vector subtraction. How? So if I have this vector B, so let's discuss it here. This is my vector A and this is my vector B. So now if I have to add A and B, I will be taking A and B. Now if I have to subtract B, so I will be taking the B in the opposite direction. So this is my negative of B. So if I add A and minus B now, it will give me the vector subtraction. So we'll be applying the triangular law, the polygonal law and the parallelogram law. All of these laws are applied here also, but here we have the negative of B. So it will give me the vector subtraction. So this thing is clear now. Now we'll be moving toward the vector multiplication. So first of all, if I multiply the vector with any scalar quantity, so let's suppose this is my A, this is my A vector. Now if I multiply A with any scalar K, so Ka is I will be multiplying with K in the left hand side as well as right hand side. So what happens here? K will multiply with each of the coefficients. So here I'll be having Kax, Ax plus Kay, Ay plus Kaz, Az. So this is the multiplication of any vector with a scalar. Now we'll be moving toward the scalar multiplication and the vector multiplication. The scalar multiplication is also called the dot product and the vector multiplication is also called the cross product. So what is dot product? In the dot product, or it is also called as scalar product, we have two vectors. So here we have A vector and let's suppose this is my B vector. So this is my B vector. Now if I have to do the dot product of A vector dot B vector, so it is represented by a dot in between A and B and its formula is magnitude of A multiplied by magnitude of B multiplied by cos theta. So this gives me A vector dot B vector. Now if I have here A vector and B vector, so magnitude of A is this, magnitude of B will be under root bx square plus by square plus bz square. So now these both magnitudes are multiplied with the cos of theta. Theta is the angle between them, so it will give me the dot product. Now if I have x, y and z direction, here we have unit vector ax, ay and az. Now if I need to find out the dot product between ax and ax, so ax dot ax will be equal to ay and it will be equal to az dot az. So ax, ay and az. We have the theta in between ax and ax to be 0, ay and ay to be 0 and az to be 0. So cos of theta is cos of 0 here in this case. So cos of 0, what is the value of cos of 0? It is 1. What is the magnitude of ax and ax? Magnitude of ax, it's the unit vector, its magnitude is 1. So when 1 is multiplied with 1, which is multiplied with 1, I'll be getting 1 as the output. Similarly, in the case of ay also and az also, I will be getting 1 as the output. Now coming to the next scenario, and in this scenario I will be having ax multiplied by ay dot az and az dot ax. So what would be the answer? So here x is multiplied with y. What is the angle between x and y? What is the angle between ax and ay? It will be 90 degree. Cos of 90 is 0. When 0 is multiplied with anything, it will be 0. So all of these will be giving me the 0 as the output. So here, if I have to do a dot b, so ax is multiplied with ax here, ax will be multiplied with ay here, ax will be multiplied with az here. I will be getting output only when ax is multiplied with ax. Okay, so in this case a dot b will be equal to, now ax is multiplied with ax coordinate, so ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. So these are the coefficients in the x direction, coefficients in the y direction, and coefficients in the z direction. So we'll be adding all of them, and when we add all of them, these are just the numbers. So the output is a scalar quantity. So this is the reason we call it the scalar product also. So now coming to the next type of product, that is the cross product. Okay, so cross product is also called the vector product. I will be telling you where these two are used, but first, before that, we need to know what it is. So cross product of these two vectors is represented by a cross between them. So its formula will be equal to magnitude of A multiplied with magnitude of B multiplied with sine theta and n cap. So n cap represents the direction, and from this formula only we got to know that cross product is a vector product. We have a vector quantity. N cap represents the vector quantity. Here mod of A is the magnitude of A, mod of B is the magnitude of B, sine of theta is sine of the angle between A and B. So how to find it? So if we have two vectors A and B, so we'll be using the property of the determinant to find it. So determinant of ax, ay, az, these are unit vectors, and then we have coefficients of A and B. So this determinant will give me A cross B. And what is the direction of n cap? N cap is in the direction perpendicular to A and B. So we can find out what is the cross product of ax, ax. So if I need to find out ax cross ax, so why it is 0? Because sine of 0 in this case will be 0. Okay, the direction between A and AX, these are two in the same direction, so theta will be 0, sine of 0 will be 0, so A cross B will be 0, so AX cross AX will be 0. Now if I need to find out AX cross AY, so I will be using this graph in this case. So here we have X, Y and Z direction. So if I need to find out X cross Y, it will give me AZ. Okay, similarly if I need to find out AY cross AZ, it will give me AX. Now if I need to find out AZ cross AX, it will give me AY. Now I cannot move in the reverse direction. When I move in the reverse direction, I will be having negative sign here. So I can say in the case of dot product, I have A dot B is equal to B dot A. Okay, it's commutative. But in the case of cross product, A cross B is not equal to B cross A. So it is not commutative. I hope you got these things. So I hope you understood what is dot product, what is cross product. Now where is dot product used? It is used to find out the projection. So what is projection? The projection of A on B will be given by A cos theta. So I am taking the magnitude of A. So projection of A on B. So if I have, this is my B and this is my A, this is theta. So what is the projection? If I have the perpendicular light, so whatever shadow this light will make on B, so this light will make a shadow which is A cos theta. Okay, this is called the projection. So it can be found out as A dot B upon B. So this is the projection of A on B. So it is used to find out projection. Now where is cross product used? Cross product is used to find out the direction which is perpendicular to both of the vectors. So if I have two vectors A and B, we need to find out a perpendicular direction or a unit vector in the perpendicular direction. What we'll be using? We'll be using A cross B divided by the magnitude of A cross B. This will give me n cap. N cap is the direction perpendicular to both A and B. Now coming to another term which is scalar triple product. Okay, so if I have three vectors, so scalar triple product will be given by A dot B cross C. Okay, and it will be equal to A cross B dot C. What will be the output? So all of them are vector quantities. Okay, so what will be the output? Here B cross C will be a vector quantity. So let's suppose it is D cap. So when A vector is dot product with D vector, so we'll be getting a scalar output. Here also we'll be getting a scalar output and both are equal. Now if I multiply it with K, so it will also be multiplied by K in the inside also. In the inside I can multiply K with B and I can have the same answers. Okay, now if I talk about vector triple product, so if I have again the three vectors and if I am taking A cross B cross C, so it is the vector triple product and it is not equal to A cross B cross C. Okay, so these are not equal. Now what is the formula to find out the vector triple product? So A cross B cross C can be found out using so A dot C, A's dot product with C, it is multiplied with the B vector, so it will give me a constant. So it will be a scalar number will be multiplied with B vector, it will give me a vector quantity. Here this is again giving me any scalar number K dash, it will be multiplied with C vector, it will give me a vector quantity. Now vector quantities are subtracted, it will give me a vector quantity. So this is called the vector triple product. So here I'll be concluding my session. I have discussed all of the basic things about the Cartesian coordinate systems and the vector analysis. In the vector analysis, I discussed about the addition, subtraction and the multiplication, dot product, cross product, scalar triple product and the vector triple product. I hope you like this video. If you like it, share it with your friends, subscribe the channel and do push the like button. Thank you so much.